All right. Had a little weirdness there for a second. We're back. All right. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. We'll get started in a few minutes. I had to restart the live stream because everything cut out, but it looks like we're good now. All right. Starting in a few minutes. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. All right. Just getting everything set up here. Give a minute for people to get in. Starting in a few minutes. All right. All good. Good morning. Morning, good evening, good afternoon. Getting the news brought up here. 1 second. Yes. What's up? Joe Mama. You're going to say things that only I know what you mean. You're really going to be that guy. You're not that guy. Guy came in and typed Joe. I don't know what that means. Last name Mama. So we'll do the usual today, which is start off with the overall analysis. And then hang out and see what we can get. It is now 4 minutes left for the first hour of London. So I'm going to get this high to low marked. Might have to adjust it if it does something new in the last 4 minutes. Just in case there's a London 1 hour, London, what do we call it? London hour trade setup. That might match the rest of our analysis. So just to have that marked. This guy's moving, huh? Let's see where that closes in 3 minutes. Good morning, good morning. Hello, hello. You're that guy. You're not that guy. I'm that guy. I'm not that guy. All right. So let's see where we are. Looks like Troy's been very good from what I can see. So where are we? I'm just getting caught up. Tuesdays are my Mondays. I have not looked at the charts. Where are we? Like, I don't think about this stuff for 4 days. Completely forget where we left off. How do you do this again? Kidding. How do you do this again? Oh, that's funny. All right. So let's look at our background. Look at our 1 hour, zoom out. Oh, there's our daily. Get to the 1 hour. Oh, yeah, we had that range. Oh, yeah, I remember now. Buying, selling close together predicted a range. We got out of the range. Where are we going to mark the bottom of that old range? I guess here. Here. We could do a big old box. That's what we'll do. Get ourselves caught up in the analysis first here. Where are we? How do you do this again? Carbon. I forgot what I'm doing. How do you do this? Which button? So as I actually said, if you remember, let's retrace our steps. We had selling, buying close together. It was predictable that we were going to range. Some pairs, dollar pairs, actually did give some fake breakout entries, right? This one didn't reach really the top or the bottom until, of course, the breakout to the downside there. And when it did break, we didn't get demand, so it was predictable that it was a real breakout, right? Here's where they bought before, once, twice, bottom of the range. Maybe you traded if there's buying coming in, right? There was not buying coming in. So we have a real breakout, and now we're seeing weakness on the break test continuation pattern, right? It's looking bearish. So we were going sideways. We broke to the downside off lack of demand. It wasn't a high activity breakout, right? Look at the activity down here. Not much going on. Lack of buying. Lack of buying. That's why it was able to do that. It wasn't a ton of selling, right? Otherwise, we'd have more activity. Lack of buying. Weak now. Are they going to position short? Well, I think we're seeing it. Let's get in there. Right at our level on the break test. I guess I chose the right level. Now, it's not London Open. Oh, nice. Okay, so that's London Open volume. It's always going to be high. There's the break test. There's the weakness. Okay, imbalance to the downside, right? High volume selling. Predictable area. I marked this line before I even checked, right? That's just the old support term resistance. Bottom of the range. And the breakout, lack of buying. Followed by selling on the test. So the projection here, and this may be a thing on the dollar pairs. We'll see if it's all correlated, most likely. And so the projection, to simplify it right now is that. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? Very simple, right? Let's see what else. Okay, so that broke out. That didn't. We were talking about strong pound last week. Yeah. The pound's a little strong. But the pound is still in this range. Did not break out. It's likely to. It's likely to still. It's still bearish. Remember, the U.S. dollar is also driving this. We'll look at that. But that volume came in. And again, it's very similar. It's just not out of the range, but it's very similar to what the information that we just looked at as far as lack of buying and then some selling now. So, it may be cleaner to be taking the euro, maybe. We'll see. Because it broke out to the downside, it's a break test, but this is also suggesting, right? Strong U.S. dollar to push things down. Did the London hour setup happen? Let's see. Where's my drawings? Oh, I got rid of them. Oh, yeah. So the high of the first hour, the low of the first hour is here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that didn't set up yet. I'm jumping right to the pound yen. Because I just want to not, I want to keep track of this if this is setting up, not miss this. Yeah, there's the low of the first hour breaking out. We'll see what that looks like. It's got under a minute left to close. No rush on that. I didn't even do the analysis. On the yen pairs, pound is on the stronger side. We know that already. At least historically. We'll see how things are shaping up for today. But throughout last week. And again, this guy broke out to the downside. Break test. Good morning. So this is very well correlated, obviously, with the euro dollar breaking out of the range. Lack of demand, a bit showed up here, not very much volume on that. And then here we have that weakness coming in. So that is the projection right now. We'll see about getting in there, see what that looks like. If this is going to come down here, it'll test for demand. 14 EMA. All right, we got that brewing. Got that brewing. Okay, there's a breakout to the downside of the first hour of London, right? The London hour trade. Volume has been in the high side, so it's not a high quality entry. If you know the method, there's a video dedicated to it. It's only like 10 minutes long. Volume's a little high for that, so I wouldn't enter that. Let's see what it does. But looking at the yen pairs, which we didn't really do properly yet, the dollar pairs are looking weak based on the strong U.S. dollar. Or at least an imbalance to that direction. To understand it, it's, well, I'll show it. Let's see the yens. Back out. So the pound is trending up. Not really surprised. These guys are lagging behind. So, yeah, we still have that strong pound situation. This is nothing but a bunch of fake breakouts, one after the other here. Euro yen. Volume is a bit inconclusive in the background on the yen pairs. All right, it's ranging and nothing standing out, no high activity. So it's a little more straightforward today. That dollar index, this is likely to occur. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . And again, it's the same thing if you look at the volume, just inverted, where you have lack of selling volume compared to our left, right? What high volume looks like. We don't have high volume selling. And then now we're starting the session off with some buying. And so we're likely to continue that. But here we actually have the weakness confirmed, predictable area, right? Marked in advance. And a test of the demand here at the moment on the 14 EMA. It already tested here. Popped up, but not on a lot of volume. Let's see what this one does. So we could have large selling and lack of demand show up on the first test there and possibly come right down. Automatic support is here. First level of support after weakness is here on the 14 EMA. Not very surprising. That's where it happens a lot. So this whole area becomes a test for demand here. If we have low volume leading to lower prices, it's likely a real down move to come now off of that weakness that maybe we can get into. But to understand, again, it's the breaking out of that range to the downside on low volume. What does that mean? It means it didn't break out because activity was high to the sell side, right? It broke out because activity was low to the buy side, so to speak, right? Low volume breakout. Low volume means it's likely a real breakout because you're at support and you're not getting demand. If it breaks off of that sort of thing, it's likely a real breakout. It actually did a quick test continuation. It did reject. And then here, this was originally the most important level I drew, was the bottom of that old range being tested again. And there we got weakness. What is this doing? Yeah, so that's a short that I'm not taking on the London on the pound 1 hour trade because of the high volume on the break. Right, the lower the better. So yeah, it's not very low. That's low. That's low. Geez, I hate chasing moves. That is all kind of low now. Did I have it marked right? Exactly 4 a.m. is here. So yes, that is the low. Okay. So there's the break. The volume's a bit on the high side. Again, it's the lower the better. Here we got some lower prices on low volume. That's suggesting, okay, yeah, it may just continue down. I do like when that initial break is clear and low volume. It's a really straightforward thing. There could be a bit of buying and then it sort of dissipates. Maybe there'll be more lower. It wasn't exactly a total lack of demand on that break, right? Speaking of lack of demand, let's see. So the lower the volume is here, as our first test of buyers is coming in after weakness, looking for the imbalance. Low volume here would suggest we continue down. This is the automatic support. So really, if it starts trending down out of this pattern, once it gets below there, that can be an entry. You can go sooner. It's a little more aggressive. On a stop loss, I would allow for a fake break. This one's almost too obvious on a break test continuation pattern here. So there could be a stop hunt up in here. So it's a bit of room, perhaps, on that stop loss, depending how you want to deal with it. But risk in check. Let's see what this guy does. Oh, 1 minute. Let's see. You want low volume, then it's likely to break into the downside. Yeah, pretty low. Pretty low. So we had lack of demand, right? That broke the euro dollar out of that range it was in last week. We had lack of demand breaking out. Now we have weakness. Now we have selling. and high volume. I may just put a position on this. And it's cold in here. No rush. Let's see. It's taking a little break. Testing for demand. Let's see. Dollar index, right? If we get it, it's the same thing inverse. And if we get above here on low volume showing lack of selling, and then we have that, basically the automatic rally. Let's see, do they really want to do it now? Maybe they want to build short positions into higher prices still if they think they can get them, right? But that is why we are bearish, because we broke out of the range of the dollar pairs last week. Well, the pound didn't because that's a bit stronger, but it's the same storyline. Lower prices, extreme lack of activity, no buying going on. And then we start off today, 25 minutes into the session, hitting that weakness. So we have the imbalance to the downside, right? Active selling, lack of activity on the buying, imbalance to the downside. But we didn't exactly see a, so-called distribution or building up of short positions, right? We didn't really see that. We did see lack of buying, but positioning short, we've got this and nothing else really to the left unless we go back into that range and all that stuff back there to look. There was our last real weakness, right? But that was that selling and buying close together stuff. So again, lack of demand. They're likely going to sell into this up move, and they are. But typically, there's no rush this early in the day to do this stuff. If we pop up here, we're very likely to see selling again and get a double top fake break and then come down. So that's why my first thought was get the stop loss out of the way. That ends up being a little big. So obviously you have to look at your risk for your position size. Okay, so the volume is low there. That is the lowest volume of the session since London Open, right? Right where I said we want low volume. All right, chart, whatever you say. But if it's moving up, then we're not marking down off of that lack of demand. Let's see. They probably want to sell into higher prices again. So kind of let it come up and then hit the high volume selling again, likely up here. The pound itself is strong. The yen, background on the yens to me, Troy, how are you? Background on the yens wasn't as clear, so I just jumped in on this potential opportunity. Not jumped in as far as the trade, but, looking at this closely because there may be a short here. The background of the yens are not that as clear as this weak situation on the dollar pairs. So I wanted to hone in on that for a second. So the pound itself, though, has been strong. The pound itself. Accumulation. All right, now, see, if it's moving up, I can take my eyes off it there. Okay. Well, the pound yen is in a uptrend structure. You'd have to call it a markup. This is a series of fake breakouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. 6 in a row. Fake breakouts. Failed, 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 failed. And volume is flat. There's no pre-positioning in large amounts, right? Just factual. Okay. And again, flat, flat, flat. If you look at the recent high volume points, where's the pre-positioning? Some buying there. We just really, don't see the high volume pre-positioning here. So, yeah, there's some strength in the background there. Maybe it's leaning bullish. But weakness, and demand here are close together in similar amounts. And then yesterday was just kind of flat. So I wouldn't call yen's an accumulation. I would say the pound yen is in a markup phase, an uptrend because of the strong pound, but not the weak yen. That is not why. Pound is strong. We knew this last week, yeah. Also, again, looking at the pound dollar, it didn't break out of the range to the downside when the others did. So the pound having its own story of uptrend. Good for the pound. Good for you, pound. So very low volume on the test of demand here. Likely to be a short setup off of this. The fact that it's not rushing and not making me rush in, I am happy. That's fine. If it wants to pop up again and hit weakness again, just make the setup even better. And I'm kind of pretty sure they want that. Because again, lack of demand, then followed by some pre-positioning short. This is all they got in so far. They want to sell some more. If we go up here, we'll likely see that high volume rejection, fake break, double top. If we're just sitting here on low volume and it starts to go, then okay, they're not going to get higher prices anymore. We mark it down, right? Good morning, good morning. Everybody got it? All right, good. Hit the like button for Troy, not for me. For Master Troy. Are you Master Troy? Are you Master now? I think so. So this is interesting. Let's see if they, right, because I was just saying, on this pattern, if we come up here, we're likely to see selling. Let's see if it happens if we come up here. This is almost there. And there's the selling. Similar pattern. Dollar index is backed with strength by the backing of fundamentals. Fed members are less hawkish due to inflation. See, I don't even pay attention to that stuff. Amazing. Roger. Amazing that I knew that just from the chart. Not even apprentice. Okay. Padawan. Look at the low volume, no demand. See that selling? Ooh, they're ready, aren't they? Maybe. That's 72. Yeah, I may end up with like a 30, 35 pip stop on this because of the pattern allowing for a fake breakout. So, you got to keep that stuff in mind. But I'm not in a rush. They want the higher prices. It's just not buyers giving it to them. That's most likely the case here. This is not a bad potential scalp entry here as far as the 14 EMA test. Let's see how that behaves potentially there. I say that because we're in a fib area and the volume is very low off the low. Things are looking bearish. Even the mighty pound that has been very strong. Short term, right? Here's the pound dollar. Weakness. Lack of demand. And here, right, which is a fib, tells you about buyers in this zone. Now, this is an uptrend that hasn't seen weakness. A bit of a different story with the pound. But short term, right, buying not coming in, right, key area, low price, and then this looks like it just got squashed and sold into, and then maybe we get a test of the 14, and now we know we're selling into an area that is likely to break or try to break for a scalp. So that's a possibility. Oh, this guy. The only thing is I don't like the timing on this, but did I even check news? Let me check news. Tuesday, November 22nd. Oh, Thursday's Thanksgiving. Yeah, this news 20 minutes ago. No high impact news until 8 p.m. Well, it's an interest rate decision for New Zealand. Okay. So today, no high impact news. They got some retail sales for Canada. Nothing major. Holiday week in the U.S. Tomorrow, PMI, Euro, Pound, and Dollar. Okay, tomorrow's PMI day. Thursday is holiday, U.S. Nothing going on there. I will not be trading Thursday. It's, that's real holiday action. What I'll probably do here is maybe put a position on with small risk that I can add to if we move up. I want to keep my risks small because they may take time to build up short positions, and I'll do that as well. So I'm going to put a limited risk short on this euro dollar here. It has confirmed the low volume. So I put a small position on, and I'm just going to get my stop out of the way. Let's see. Okay, it's not too huge of a stop at all. All right. So on that position, I got to stop at, I'll just throw it in at 30 pips. Like, I'm not even going to let it run that far back on me. You know me with risk. I will start getting the heck out of that trade if it doesn't look good. But I put that basically half of what I could have, put as a full position on the euro dollar short. So if it runs, I got something on it. If it pulls up and shows more weakness and I see them positioning short, I can add to that. If it just goes nuts and hits my stop loss, right, then it's only a half position. So that is my logic here. The background for the pound dollar. The pound itself has been very strong off last week. The pound itself. But you also have strong U.S. dollar. So it's a bit of a weird match. They're both strong U.S. dollar projected to be strong here off of what we're seeing end of last week into this week. So it's not, so when you say mixed, yeah, they're both on the strong side. It's not a good imbalance, right? You see how the pound dollar didn't break out of that range from last week when the other ones did. Euro dollar did, Australia, US did. So there's been some buying on the pound. It's been strong, but yeah, it's matched up against a strong dollar. So not a good mismatch as far as, predictable move. I wouldn't, because again, if you just zoom out, it's in an uptrend. What a mess. It's in an uptrend overall, right? Talking about pound dollar. And we have not seen on some of these lower moves here so far today, here, any sort of volume on the reaccumulation. So short term is bearish in an uptrend. And there's no reason to be selling, really. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, not exactly the greatest situation. Yeah. But that's why, right? Exactly. That's why pound is ranging while the others were able to break down, because the pound has a little more buying on it. I mean, you even see right now, look at the 1 hour candle. The euro dollar is red and the pound dollar is blue. So there's just something going on with the pound buying. If we had weak US dollar, I'd be honing in on buying the pound dollar, right? But we actually are looking at an uptrending US dollar that has not seen any reason for that to turn. It may continue. So not a good matchup. Not a good matchup right now. Chart moves two ways, up, down, and sideways. That's three. No, it's never truly sideways. Not for long. You have to move on from that lesson, this carbon. I taught you the market goes in two directions, up and down. Okay, learn the next thing. That's a really good lesson, though. People forget. Oh, no, Bitcoin, it's over. It's going down. But that's the thing. It goes in two directions. So it's going to go up also. So that's where we're at today. Storyline is the dollar, US dollar. And as pairs came down, not seeing the demand come in, or basically not seeing the selling of the US dollar. And then followed by some buying. So that's the story right now. The projection is today, strong US dollar. Everything moving down against the US dollar, but maybe not the pound. Maybe. Depends how strong of a move, because we know the pound is strong. As far as the yens, a little wishy-washy. We'll see how things develop. It's early. So that's where we are. And we'll see how things develop here. Mr. Mark. We have weakness here today. You're contrarian. I'm surprised. This kind of feels like every time now at this point. Okay. There goes that strong pound. I'm not really into constant contrarian opinions. Sorry, I'm just not. I can't entertain that while I'm trading. This is almost at the 14 EMA, which could give that move off of that. Maybe the pound will catch up with the others and look bearish, but that's more of a scalp situation. Again, this is an uptrend, right? But short term, that hasn't seen a lot of weakness. But short term, it's likely to come lower. Well, this will help tell us. We'll see the reaction there. We'll see the reaction. So again, I planned for, right, by getting my stop out of the way on a small position, I planned for this to be able to come up, hit weakness again on a fake break, and be able to stay in the trade or add to it. Or not, and it's a smaller loss, so risk and check with that small position. But positioning-wise, they might want to position again. If they don't, then obviously I won't add to the trade, and I'll just take the small loss. If they do, I can look to add to it, maybe get a better price than I initially did, right? So that's the plan here. Nobody's losing money because of me, Mark. You have no responsibility to tell anybody anything here. You really don't. It's all good. This was a wait and see. Obviously, if it breaks too far up, then that's not happening. That's why we wait for that. Who's losing money? I don't even know. Selling on the up move, hopefully here. We'll see how that looks as it moves up. Let's see the 1 minute, get a close look. Yes. Let's see, do I get a box off of that? Oh, that's a really big box. But that is the box, high to low of the above the close. It's a shame your ego limits your trading, mate. Honestly, my ego? Shame. What? I'm just sharing what I do, bro. I'm saying it seems like you're always saying the opposite. Like consistently. Like when I win trades, you're saying the opposite beforehand. This happened many times. Disrespect you? I was saying I'm not into contrarian opinions constantly. That's all I'm saying. If I was wrong constantly, then maybe it would make sense. Yeah. See you, Mark. Have a good one. No, thanks. Take care, Mark. Have a good one. Oh my gosh, you're still going. You're not here to trade again. You didn't even hear what I said. Roll it back. Roll it back. That's not what I said. Wow. Yeah, go do a stream, Mark. Go ahead. Do your thing, man. Wow. He's coming here every time I get into a trade. He's telling me, no, it's going to do the opposite, the opposite, the opposite. I was just telling Carbon this the other day. This dude, Mark, is always saying the opposite. And then when I win a trade, he doesn't say anything. When I was right, he doesn't say, oh, I meant later. Bruh, every time I enter a trade, I got somebody telling me I'm wrong. And I don't want to hear that. And now I'm being disrespectful. Oh, God. I ain't got time for bullshit, man. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't got time for bullshit. Life is short, man. Kiss my ass. Get the fuck out. Jesus. Fucking attention whore. I'm gonna join this dude's stream and type fucking constantly and disagree with him. Good plan, dude. Fun. So let's see if we get weakness. We are. Let's see if we go higher and get weakness or come down and get no demand. Either way, that's bearish. Yeah, you guys all see what he's been doing. You all see. God. This is like a theme with me the last few days, man. It's just, God, man, what is wrong with people? You know what happened last night while I'm watching this? I go to a sort of an open jam sort of situation, right? I'm playing drums. I haven't played drums much since my back surgery. I'm just kind of trying to ease into it. And dude gets mad. The bass player gets mad because we're not sitting here learning his original songs. Like, we have to learn his songs, otherwise we're wasting our time. And everyone else in the room is like, no, 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 we're not doing that. We're just having fun, you know. Not so serious. Dude got mad. Studio owner kicked him out. He kicked him out at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's 26 degrees out. He kicked him out. This is the shit I had to do it last night. Everybody's like, what the hell was that? And then I get this today. Dumb motherfuckers, leave me alone. Oh my God. Exactly. I am at that point, Troy. That is like literally my thoughts when it comes to this. Like, I am wasting no more time on assholes and bullshit and God. Anyway, where did I put my stop on this thing? Let's see if we get weakness. I was allowing for a fake break. Hopefully this is it. It's up at 94. But I had a feeling they wanted to go higher in position into an up move, hunt some stops here. And that's why I did what I did as far as a small position. Because everyone can see the weakness coming in, and we marked that level in advance, and it hit. But again, you kind of get to know these things where, you know, the distribution or whatever you want to call it, the building up of short positions into up moves, right? That's all we've really seen of that. We, you know, besides the lack of demand. So we'll see. If I take the small loss on my half position here, that's not a big deal. I'll live. If they can sell higher, they'll do so, and I'll just get out. But like I said, before I went in, I'm going half, going small because of this kind of thing. So we'll see. Again, if it comes down now off of this, then we're confirming weakness again, right? And it's actually good for the trade that we've hit, you know, some more positioning short. So that's what that's about. Z-Real 11. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that sounds about right. You were going to fight with him before I even said something. Yeah, I know. It was brewing, right? You saw that. Like, oh, God, again? Right off the bat, first thing he's got to talk about is I'm wrong. And he's going to save you all from losing money. Like, okay. Wow, so wacky. I swear, this is the next level of wackiness I've been seeing lately. I don't know what's going on. I can't imagine going to some random person's live stream that I don't know in real life at all and just disagreeing with, you know, literally like 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Just no, wrong, no, it's the opposite. You got it wrong. I have a responsibility to save everybody. You have to respect my opinion. That's kind of fucking insane, man. There it is, Troy. That sums it up right there. We'll just have to leave it at that. I mean, at first I was joking with him, like, okay, so if I listen to you and I don't do what I want to do, are you going to pay me back if I lose? Like, how does this work? Are you sure? He didn't get the hint. Exactly. Go ahead. Go do your live stream, Mark. Let's see. See, nobody's right 100% of the time. Maybe his strategy was to disagree with me every time until I'm wrong. and it just wasn't working out for him, but he stuck to it. Then you could say, see? And it really reminds me of what I dealt with last night. Like, you have this one person that's so out of touch with everything else going on in the room. It's like, wow. Like, fucking crazy. Yeah. Anyway, it's probabilities, right? It's facts for the most part we're talking about. I didn't see him warn us. Yeah, that fake break is likely, Pete. Guess I was right again. And that one time you were wrong. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's probably his plan. I don't know. Attention whore. Guess so. Maybe he has his charts upside down. Ah, there we go. His monitor is turned upside down. He's talking about losing money. I'm sorry. Have you been here the last 2 weeks? Yes, actually, he has. Fucking weird, man. Anyway, I'm dealing with this next level bullshit. I'm telling you, people are losing their mind. So what else is brewing? We know the pound is strong, but there's nothing aligning with that to buy that right now, and that's kind of its own story. Maybe it'll pop up and hit weakness and join the others. The ends are a bit inconclusive at the moment. What does the AJ look like? Yeah, it's AJ and EJ kind of really show you what's going on with the yen pairs. It's like the strong pound gives you a false impression that it's just, okay, the yen pairs are easy, it's moving up. It's really just that strong pound. These guys are rangy and constantly doing fake breakouts, one after the other. So as far as volume, of course, it's been low. So that, again, I'm just repeating myself, shows lack of any pre-positioning in either direction, right? It's just lack of activity. Price moved. We just haven't seen the large pre-positioning. So maybe they're waiting for something, right? Meanwhile, the pound is strong, so it moves up against that flat yen, right? So that's the whole explanation there. Yeah, exactly, right. Change. World Cup, it's back. Um, it's not like something I've ever been into, but I got into it because on my wife's side of the family, they're into it. So there'll be a thing, yeah. When is that? Oh, jeez. Or when does it start? I'm sure I'll know. I'll find out. It's usually a family gathering sometimes for some games. All right, so that guy's looking good. That's what we wanted to happen. That's why I got my stop loss out of the way. I foresaw this, right? I know how they operate. They got one chance to sell. And people aren't so dumb, right? A lot of traders see this. It's a break test continuation pattern. I also said it looks too easy. It looks too, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to might hunt some stops right here, right? But they want to build up. They want to build up short positions. And, one little sign of weakness on a 5-minute is not necessarily, you know, getting all they can in there. If buyers want to bring it up, Buyers want to chase this breakout of that high, whatever, looking like a little uptrend here. You can catch some buyers. You can catch some stop loss on shorts here, right? All that I explained before I even entered the trade. Yesterday? Oh, yeah. So now again, 14 EMA, test of demand. So you could have a situation where volume really drops off low again, right, into this area here. And that is a good sign for the trade. I could add to it. I could not. But that's information there. We're back to that. Pound yen. I'm just going to repeat myself. You know what I'm going to say. The yen is flat. Long story short, the yen is flat, but the pound is strong. So the pound is moving up against whatever. Short term, are we seeing demand and lack of supply on that to be able to get in long? I'm not seeing that. It's like short term bearish, long term bullish, but not bullish in the way I like because the yen isn't weak. It's strong pound. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and that's the 50 to 618 and in an uptrend, right? To our left. And the demand is not very overwhelming, right? Are they saying, here we go, reaccumulation? No, right? And then we see weakness. So, in that key spot to tell you about buyers in an uptrend, that's not convincing at all, right? And that's the fib from there, yeah. And then you could draw a larger one, whatever. And that may certainly come around and see demand down there. And that's the whole leg up, and that's your basic, leg up fib in the markup. So that of course is possible. But short term it's bearish because there's just not much demand there. So maybe it'll set up there and hit demand. But again, it's only bullish because the pound is strong, not because the yen is weak. And the weak yen is what I prefer. It's a little more reliable, clean. You get what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. It doesn't mean like, don't trade the pound yen. There's nothing. I mean, you could look at this and say, okay, if there's lack of demand at that key area and then there's weakness coming in, you could be looking to go short, which I was considering off the 14 EMA, and then we had all this, so I'm just not even messing with it. It's so, it's shorting in an uptrend. I would need a little something better. But short term, if you're at such a key area and buyers aren't coming in, and then you see some weakness, short term is likely to try to get lower. It could do 618 overshoot and hit those buyers, right? And I know you know that. Try 618 overshoot, so that's the way I'm seeing it. I mean, Mark would tell you the opposite, so we don't even need to ask. Very good, Troy. So what I say here, we could see volume drop off, and that would be a good sign, right? So there it is. Nothing surprising going on here. All predicted. Thank you very much, Troy, and thanks for all your contributions. This guy went higher without much selling. What's going on there? I think a lot of people thought they were real smart looking at a break test continuation and shorting. Tricky, huh? Break test continuation there. And then again, I just pointed out. But there are stops here, and they might just hunt them first. Yeah. So now we can go perhaps. See a little 1 minute detail. No issue with demand. Okay, very good, very good. You see the selling, the fake break, predetermined level. Lack of demand here and here and here. Okay. I'm not adding to it though. I'm keeping my half small risk position for now. Not doing anything. You're already up. Oh. Where did I enter? He's got a better entry than me, huh? I am down 5 pips. 4 pips. 5. Did you add on the fake break? You must have done something a little different. So the way the chart is communicating in this pattern here, it should be able to do this, try to break through this level, the automatic support, right? And from here, if it gets past that, then we're actually in like a markdown sort of action that we would expect if we can get through here. If you see high volume demand or any issue, right, that's different. But we see the supply, lack of demand still. I'm listening to the chart and just leave it. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that, Troy. I know you did acknowledge this, so I know that you know that your entries are when you see strength or weakness, but you're not waiting for a test of the other. So in this case, weakness, but you're not waiting for a test of demand, which, as you've said, is more aggressive. But like I say, if you're reading the charts right, you're getting factual information, and you're clear-headed in your decisions and everything. It doesn't, you don't have to trade the same way I trade and try to nail entries exactly the way I do it. It's you're looking at facts and you're deciding based on rational thinking. Yeah, doesn't mean everybody has to trade exactly the way I trade. It's a matter of being able to gather those facts, the probabilities, and decide. Yeah. Doesn't mean everyone's going to do it the same, but you want to at least be seeing the same information, because that's factual. Had to go to work, left an order for a retest. Previous high, which seems to be working. Yeah, figured that might happen. Yeah, we're seeing that. The charts are saying it. The charts are saying it. Let's see. Yep. I didn't change my mic cable, but I'm watching my sound. Okay, it's still good. Yeah, best facts we could gather. That's a strong looking U.S. dollar here. Started off right with that volume off the low. A bit of selling there in this price area, dollar index. That if you look again, price area, well, it's an index, but if you look again, right, the weakness didn't show up. into new prices. So basically the inverse of the euro dollar, more or less. So the question is not, is there short positioning and lack of demand here? Yes, we see that. It's, do they want to mark it down right now? As I said from the beginning, it's early for this stuff. They tend to sometimes build up positions. A lot of times you'll see this type of setup as you get into U.S. session. So it's like kind of a timing thing. It would be nice if we could just get below here and do a real breakout without demand. Just move stop to break even and let it do what it wants to do until we see some strength or any other reason to do anything. But we're at least aligned with them at this point. Hopefully there's not some spike up where they grab some more shorts or something, some maneuver. So it's just kind of a timing thing. What are we back into the old range on this? Yeah. Well, again, it doesn't take away the fact that there really wasn't much demand into lower prices. If you look to the left, here's your buying and buying. Not much. Looking at the AU here. Considering that, I would want to see here if we do get that spike in weakness, right? We'll draw a little volume thingy. Some weakness there, right? Then you got weakness at a fib, right? You don't have much strength here. More volume than this would be nice to see, right? Into here, showing weakness. Then it becomes very high probability to do that. I work with dogs. I'm currently stood outside and vets in the cold, picking up a dog turd with one hand and watching the stream in the other. What has your life become? You might want to work with dogs over people. That's fine. It's not a bad thing. Attempt to take the Jew short as well, Pete, but the pound, as you said, seems strong. Yeah, the pound's got that strong storyline. It has nothing to do with the weak yen or the weak dollar. If it looks like it's trending up, it's just the pound, right? Which I don't quite like as my main reason for getting into a trade. It happens. So spot on with pound yen is crazy. It's doing exactly what you said. Let's see with the pound yen. Oh, yeah. Well, we saw lack of demand and weakness, so yeah. I don't know. We used to call him Eddie. Maybe we'll call him Mark. Oh, no. Stop. I'm done. Okay. Whoever bought there. Yeah, I see the low volume there. They're going to say, okay, that weakness is going to come in. It's likely it's going to come here. And maybe they'll see the buyers because of the bullish background. If it doesn't, which it's not, right, so far. And then here's 618 overshoot, so we'll really find out. Hey, I bet this guy might be. No? Okay. So not seeing, right, we're seeing right now, we'll see what the 5-minute closes. But if you don't get that strength showing up here real soon on the 5-minute, and then it's likely going there. And that could be just because we're in an uptrend that's pretty healthy and you see demand there and you know the deal. The lack of supply here, we're not done, right? So that's something maybe later today or maybe soon, depending on how fast it goes. But that's likely to happen now. If that 5-minute isn't really, really soon going to show strength here, right? 618 overshoot. Probably not. Need that dollar index to go. 14 EMA. And again, this might be higher. And I say that because you see some weakness, but it's really not consistent, sustained. It's not constant selling in this price area. It kind of happened once and tapered off. I think we saw an example of that to the downside last week, right? And it continued. So yeah, there's some selling and up moves, selling and up moves. It's that very like pre-positioning stuff where they're not squashing it down consistently in a price area. It sort of hits once. So that points to, again, potentially getting the short there. Why? Because there's not much demand to the left and we're trending down structurally. And I'm repeating things here and there, but that's all there is to say. People kind of come and go, so there you go. Nothing else, I guess I want to jump in right now. I could have taken that short, but I didn't. Troy. But you see how it's very consistent. I'm not every time I predict something, giving you something new. It's like it's actually the same thing over and over again. So I'm sure you're getting it, Troy. Very good. Troy, I already finished my working with people career. Used to do bouncer door work. Oh, that's the worst. Oh, drunk people. Yeah. Looking for a fight. There you go. You got the dogs. Little volume came in there. What is that? Selling, hopefully. Hmm. What was the pound of the London hour trade? Out of curiosity, I didn't take it. It was the sell here. Yeah, see, I mean, yeah, we kind of knew to at least wait for that sort of thing. I just didn't like the way it's set up around there. It ended up being weakness, but it's not your typical scalp entry that I was looking for. Kind of just stuck to the rules. Once I saw that pop really beyond the moving average for a second, I passed. But it ended up coming in as weakness. Okay. A bit of volume here, really nothing special, but be nice to confirm that. Some more selling. There's so many fake breakouts here. Look at the high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fake breakouts to the upside. Wow. That's crazy. Because he's kind of like, okay, is it an uptrend? But no, they're all failed. All failed. It's too bad the volume is just not supporting shorts or anything, you know? It's not, right? And maybe there's buying here, so. Let's see what's going on in there. Again, the yen is kind of flat. That's the issue, so. These things are just kind of driving themselves. Is the yen moving up? Yeah, okay. The yen's doing a little something. See, it was flat for days. Maybe we're going to start to move. Okay, well, meanwhile, I've got this short on here. It's nice to get off a bit of volume on an up move. Not much, but some. It's nice to get a bearish reaction off of that. The weakness, lack of demand. It's there. It's just timing. When do they want to mark it down? Smart Money is trying to work out a way to counter me. We will do 10 fake breaks in a row. But wait, I expect fake breaks. I predicted this one right here. That's not going to work. Hit the like button. Thank you, Troy. Everybody hit the like button. I think I've mentioned one too many conspiracy theories and it says a few too many keywords. I might be shadow banned. I got a lot of content. I think it's pretty good content too. But that's all right. Like I say, if I was a YouTuber, I'd be in trouble. If my career was being a YouTuber, I would have failed. Been on YouTube for like 12 years. I got 7,000 subscribers. There's people like have been on 6 months. They have more than me. I'm a failed YouTuber. That's okay. If all brokers suddenly turned off tick counters, I think we know. Well, you can't. You can't turn it off. It's based on price tick data. You could actually see that in MT4. I remember back in the day being able to see, like as a list, every tick is listed in some sort of history. It's stored. And I think that's what you use when you run back testing. It works off of that. So it must be there, you know. So if the tick information's coming in, you know, it is what it is, right? Anyone just build a volume indicator to move up some set amount every time you get a price change. However you would code that, whatever. I don't think you can't really stop it, right? Can't really do anything about that. As long as there's ticks, you could add up the ticks. So as far as any other opportunities, yeah, as I said, the pound looked weak, but the background is an uptrend, and didn't want to take anything with that. It's still looking weak. Still looking weak. It could do a 14 EMA pullback and continuation. Again, I only say that because as new low prices come in, first of all, we've really passed the 618 overshoot, and we already knew here that it was weak at the 618 overshoot. All right, nothing special. Lower than average, medium volume. So it is still projected to get here. which in the bigger picture is the leg up, and maybe that's where that reaccumulation, strength is going to take place. As far as the template goes, it's really that area. So in an uptrend like it would be, you'd have to ideally get some weak yen along with strong pound. The way I like to do it, if I'm buying against the yen, I'd really rather see that it's weak. Not just because the pound is getting hit with buyers. Doesn't mean I would never take it for that reason, but yeah, I like yen and US dollar driven moves. When that really aligns, if you have one strong and the other weak, of course, it's the best. This guy's playing around, huh? Yeah, no other situation I would get into something right now. Things are brewing. There'll be more. Chances are more stuff today. It's brewing. Oh God, yeah. This has been a thing, man. Damn, last night too. And other people. I won't even get into it. What is wrong with people? There's something in the air. It's the same exact thing, like psychologically, that I dealt with last night. Like, and that's still in my head. Like, come on. Peace. Go with the flow. Everybody chill. What the hell? Man, something in the air. This, I would consider the scalp if that weakness wasn't there. It's a nice reaction off the 14. It did kind of dwindle down. But as I say, the lower the volume on this before the pullback, the better. So it's really not low. Bit much. Just seeing if there's anything else. This maybe. That's nice low volume here. We got some weakness. Again, that's very counter background, selling the pound as it's been strong. But that's what it is at the moment. Roger, I believe in astrology and today has a tense energy, just my 2 cents. Give me some explanation. And actually, last night was technically today. It was late. It was after midnight. So that's 2 in one day. All right, then again, it's after midnight again. All right, how about the last 2, today and yesterday? I believe it, man. Something. It's something beyond normal circumstances that, like, because I can think of 3 in the recent past. What am I going to do with this? Should I just cut this trade? Everything in the situation is good. The situation, everybody could see, is weakness, fake break, weakness, demand, no issue. And if we go higher, we're likely to see continued weakness. But of course, risk in check, and you got to have your limitations. But again, that's exactly why I only took half a risk, half position, I said before I went in, because I know the timing of things. You could be a great setup. It could be a clean setup like this where I should be in it because it's there. There it is. But these types of setups usually play out later in the day. But not always. But so there is that factor. And again, they didn't really have much time, much chance to build up short positions. But they certainly did on these 2 opportunities here. So it's kind of that sort of thing. I'm comfortable with half a position on, half risk in this sort of situation. Mr. Troy, believe it or not, it's like a great compliment to you at what he was doing. It goes to show he knows you are really good at what you're doing, so he wants to prove he's better than you. Oh, okay. Okay. I'll take it, Troy. Thanks. I'll take that. Probably, yeah. You don't want to upstage an idiot. You got to upstage, right? The guy getting the attention. Yeah. I'm worth trying to upstage, I guess. Yeah, whatever. Jeez. With my 20 people in my little humble little stream. Okay. That's funny. Type Rob. Yeah, if you notice, Mark isn't typing every 3 seconds. It's because I got tired of his contrarian opinion. But I said very nicely, I'm really not into a contrarian opinion every time I enter a trade. It's not something I want to hear, and I have to ignore it. Which, like, psychologically, I'm sure everyone can understand that, right? Imagine every time you get into a trade, you get a text on your phone. It's actually going to be the opposite. Every time you're clicking that button, after a while, like, can you stop? This is like 8 times in a row you've done this to me. But I said it nicely, and then it was something about he's got to save everybody from losing money and my ego, right? If you scroll up, you'll see it. Like, what? I go, losing money? Have you been here in the last 2 weeks? Know what I'm saying? Carmen, you knew this was coming because we had already talked about this. I'm like, I don't know what this dude, man. He stressed you out. You had a friend like that, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. In fact, I don't think I took a loss last week or the week before. I think it was 3 weeks ago was the last time I took a loss. Pretty sure. You can almost feel that the chat is more chill without his constant rambling. Yeah. Fly Smith. I don't think I know you. Welcome. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Very welcome. Thanks for attending. I'll certainly be wrong on trades because we're dealing with probability, right? You have facts, but you're still dealing with probability as far as prediction. What's my point? Oh yeah, like I say, it's the education, right? Obviously, there's some something to it going on over here, and that's the point. You learn that, you got a skill for life. You can read a chart. If you're right 80% of the time, all right, you got a career. You're a lurker, okay. I appreciate you coming out of the shadows. Very good. Teach to fish, yes. Doesn't mean every time you go out, you're going to get fish. You might just waste gas and come back. Yeah, good fishermen have those days. So like I said, my stop was at 94. I only took half position because I was weary, as I said at the time, that they're going to take their time and continue to sell into up moves, and I have to have a limit on that. And so only having half risk, it's less than 1%. And even giving another pop here a chance, maybe. See if they sell again, and maybe I stay in it. It shows 94 for a reason, to really just try to get out of the way. They are going to sell again, aren't they? But, logically, what are you going to do? Stay in the trade as they sell and sell? There's got to be a limit to your, risk. Your risk tolerance. There has to be a limit. But yeah, this is where you could get in trouble, sort of, right? Because if they're selling it, well, there's not even much selling here. So yeah, whatever happens. But I was gonna say, yeah, this is when like mentally maybe inexperienced traders, or if you're struggling with this stuff, you could say, which I'm not gonna do. Well, I only took half a position. It's only half my risk. You know what? I'll just make my stop loss bigger. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still okay. Now you start making excuses, right? I rather look back and say, actually, that was a pretty good entry, and cool. Small loss, half of my usual size position. Like, I'm not going to look back and be annoyed at that. But if I start moving, it's maybe hopefully they'll sell more into more up moves. Let me get my stop loss higher, right? Nah. Well, especially now, you see how the selling didn't come in this time, so that changes things. But this happened. It happened for a reason, and I'll look for the opportunity to come. Again, this stuff, like I said, usually comes around the New York session, these types of setups. So maybe we'll see continued weakness and look to sell, in a few hours after it hits some more weakness and does its thing, somewhere higher. So that's a possibility. Been destroying all your YouTube stuff. I've been watching. Cool. Nice, Troy. Cool. It'd be good to have. Obviously, it's getting to that point where you guys are seeing it too. It's not always me pointing things out. After a while, you guys will see it. I'll see it. Is what it is. Maybe something's going on another chart. I didn't notice it, and you're pointing out to me. Because after a while, you get it. It's cool. How's the small account challenge going? Oh, I stopped doing it. I was spending too much mental energy on that, on making $40 or something. So okay, I'm good with this. And then I traded aggressively because it's a small account. Let me take some more aggressive trades, right? And I just end up breaking even. I don't lose money still. I'll usually make it back if I do whatever. But this is all just pointless. Too much mental energy. But it was cool to do for a little while and actually show trades and get into managing trades live and all that. I think that was good. L's are part of life in trading, of course. You're never going to like it. If you can become as close to neutral as possible when you take a loss, and the more time goes by, the more you just don't care. And your risk is in check and it doesn't matter and whatever. Oh, well, you get the next two right, you get the next three right. If you get two wrong in a row, well, maybe the market's whacked out. Chill out a little bit. You protect the capital, it all works out fine in the end, if you know what you're doing. L's are, yeah. 6 months ago, I learned to trade like a bank and get bankrupt. I learned to trade from Sam Bankman-Fried, this guy I met. Yeah, I've invested heavily in his company. I wonder what happened to that guy. Yeah, talk about a front man who really doesn't do shit. That's my guess. I don't even want to know. I'm tired of foulness, you know. They stole and laundered billions of dollars. I'm just tired of this crap already. No one's going to jail. Nothing's going to happen. Crazy. Tired of it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know any more details. Whatever. God. Tired of foulness. What else? What else? I'm sitting in this trade. Who knows what it wants to do? I'm good with whatever outcome. Of course. Buying the pound low might be a thing today. We see how strong it's been, but we have not seen reaccumulation in strength. Easily that could show up there. That would be textbook. Things that are brewing. So we knew it was short-term bearish, but long-term bullish. But let's get some strength. It doesn't have to be 1 hour strength. 5 minute. Because we're going with our trend, with our background. I marked that in particular, but it could be 618 overshoot, could be a fake break of that low, just below that. There's a bunch of stop losses here, People willing to go short. So that might happen. If it does come around, we'll be ready. Well, that guy really bounced. How's the yen doing? Kind of losing some momentum on that move, the up move. Whatever happened to SBF? Oh, is that another exchange? Something happened with them? You need say Bitcoin was going to. Oh, I did say Bitcoin was going to 15, 17K a month before the shenanigans happened. Kudos. Yeah, I did say, yeah. And again, it's not some secret. It's not some crystal ball. I said it at the time. Bitcoin, before it goes up, is likely to drop one more time, scare the shit out of everybody. 16, 15, maybe even 14. Ooh, And it's just after you see it a bunch of times, you come to expect it. That's all. That's what usually happens. Now, if we had seen in the 20 range, when Bitcoin was stuck at 19, 20 for so long, if we had seen strong accumulation, then I would say, okay, maybe a fake break or not even, it's accumulation. We're going up. That's different. But when you're sitting in a range, right? Where is the cause, right? Isn't that the term, Wyckoff stuff? The cause. Where's in the classic VSA? The cause of the up move was not building into that 1920 area. right? The accumulation. So you got to say, oh, okay, it's gonna. Where do they buy? They buy low. So yeah, and just that last move to scare everybody out and psychologically and all that, because they want to buy as much as they can before the up move. Especially now they lost one of their biggest laundering operations. Better get some Bitcoin, drop it down and buy it. See, this doesn't help. It makes everybody say, oh, crypto's so dirty. See, I knew it. Crypto, that's that scam stuff. It's like, first of all, you think the black market doesn't use US dollar bills? Cash, baby? You think it ain't going down in cash? Oh, cash is clean. Right? It's actually the currency of choice for dirty business. Cash. So, yeah, there's no different virtue, in my opinion, when it comes to that. And then you see this stuff, the government's involved and scam. But that has nothing to do with Bitcoin, that stuff. And, the majors, Ethereum, and some of these more solid things that you could actually go buy things with right now if you wanted to. People have their crypto wallets and, you could pay them. And that doesn't change. But yeah, that fear factor really went off the scale on that one. That's how it works. You get these chances every like 4 years or so, or whatever. You had the COVID drop where Bitcoin was at what 4,000, something like that, 45. It's like this is what we wait for, because it goes in two directions, right, Carbon? Down and up, also. There you go. And when when Bitcoin was at 50, 55, or just all the time, also plan for something terrible. Don't forget that. Okay, good. Have a plan. But I haven't bought still. And that's something to talk about while we're sitting here. Because even if you don't trade crypto, it's just all the same basic sort of understanding. Why not take a look? So here's the Cryptogeddon, Armageddon. And we had already lost, a lot of people just couldn't take it anymore before this. Well, let's look at the volume, 4-hour chart. I like the larger time frames on crypto, on real volume. So, yep, that's a lot. Where are we? Let's get a handle on this. That's a lot of volume. A lot of buying. Where are we on a daily? Ooh, highest volume since the COVID discount rate. Wow. And look what happened after that. So we have big buying position, and really positioned. Now, if we come down, right, and this is why I'm waiting. Just because they're buying, right, they bought here. I didn't buy there, right? Or whatever, or on a daily chart. But, right, just because you see the buying doesn't mean that's the low, obviously. But that means when there's a lack of supply and a normal accumulation type of behavior, which we didn't have in the 1920 area, right? Definitely wasn't. We're not talking about, again, as I said, it's probably going to drop first. And there was some buying in there, sure, but, we see this type of huge buying now. So it could be potentially the really good opportunity if it continues to behave properly like accumulation, which would be what? Higher volume at lower prices, lower volume at higher prices, lack of supply on obvious test areas like that. But if you notice, it looks like actually there was some selling into here. If there are willing sellers, then you could take your time accumulating. But here, actually, we dropped down on that volume. Let's see what it's looking like down there. Yeah, it's there. Okay. It's there. So if you go back to just regular Wyckoff accumulation, you actually have preliminary support there too, right? Okay, we got the template. Did we jump the creek yet? I don't know. Break the ice, jump the train. What? Key test areas though, lack of volume, lack of supply, leading to a break, and that's finally what would have me getting in. If we're coming down, if I just open my charts for the day and I see we're coming down, I'm doing nothing because I just want to see if they're buying still. I don't have to get the low price. But if we start to get through some of these areas on low supply, and again, low supply, maybe we actually have a higher high, higher low structure that's full of demand and lack of supply, right? We're still down here. We're still good. Then I'll buy. So I'm in no rush. So that's more of like swing trading, and I don't even have to go really below the 1 hour chart. And I started off with the 4 hour, the daily. But it's the same principles, right? Same deal. So we'll see. We'll continue to watch that. Even if you don't trade it, it's just good to see. And it's why not do swing trading as well, right? Something where you manage your position every few months or whatever it may be. It's very little effort, If I end up buying here, it could be, 2 months before I do anything after that. Maybe I'm selling some off at, 40. And that's double from my entry. If I enter at 20 and Bitcoin goes to 40, those positions have doubled in value. And maybe that's in 3 months, right? Whatever it is, you double your money. So swing trading is nice. It's cool to do that. Do that on the side besides this day trading stuff. Sort of on the side, so to speak. We'll continue to follow that. But if we didn't see that buying in Bitcoin, the others too, I'm sure Ethereum, they all have that same deal, then we'd be in trouble. If that buying didn't show up huge like that, then it's, okay, next stop 10,000, most likely. But that's not the case. All right. Anything else of interest? How's that scalp looking? Man, selling the pound. It's been so strong, but I think I'll leave it for now. Well, if it's sitting up there, it would have to start to pull away anyway. All right, so I got this half position still, $1 short. Nothing else going on at the moment. At least we ran through some things. Hopefully, get something out of the time. And I'll hang out a bit longer for sure. Give me 1 minute. I'll be right back. Almost back. 1 sec. All right. We're back. Bitcoin analysis. Very welcome. Can you check the FX Lounge on Discord for my Eurodollar thoughts? Sure. Let's see. Is there analysis with the chart or just? Let me see. I see the chart, but there's no analysis with it, right? That goes along with it. It's just not marked up much, so I'm trying to see. 200 EMA. Okay, yeah, that's not bad to use. Any particular question? Okay, I see you're pointing out the weakness, right? What do you want me to comment on, though, is what I'm asking. Yeah. What time frame is that? Oh, the 200 EMA. Yeah, I used to have that on my chart. I used to have anything on my chart at some point, but I kind of took everything off, and then I'm like, all right, what do I really need? But 200 I actually use in swing trading on the 4-hour chart. Yeah. But yeah, the 200 could definitely add confluence to areas. Yeah. Seems so. And that's what moving averages are good for, if they're good for anything. Yeah. On a 15-minute chart, right? Okay. Well, yeah, I am in short. So I guess I would agree with you. Yep. It's factual, right? That selling you see it on a 15-minute chart in that way. See, it's a 2-bar reversal weakness pattern on the 5-minute chart. These three, and this one doesn't have much weakness, but these two. 15-minute chart is just the rejection on the close 3 times in a row. Yeah. And the volume's there too. Yeah. Well, actually, it's a 2-bar pattern there too. If you see the 15-minute reaction, also. So weakness did confirm multiple time frames there. Yeah. At this point, I mean, the only bad information is that the volume here really could have been higher. That's what I don't like about it. Talk about this trade for a second. I could close it. I'm only down a little if I'm here, right? We're not up there. I could trim it down. I could do nothing. Testing for demand here at the 14 EMA. And things are, right? Things develop in real time. And reading the chart, now let's say this volume, right? When I got into the trade, I said we could get a fake break here and weakness, right? So, this isn't like, oh, surprise, surprise. But this, right, is something you don't want to see, which is higher prices on medium volume, right? Not showing the weakness and the weakness. Then you start to lose some probability. If they're not consistently selling, that tells you they may be waiting for higher prices. My entry was what time? Show me the time unless I. How do I see the time I entered? Anyway, it's in this price area. So right now, I'll see the test for demand, right? Oh, what I was going to point out is, okay, so there's low volume here, which is not what we want to see. Now, on this test of demand, what if there's high volume? Things change. Things happen. If you're a seller and you're waiting for higher prices and you see demand here, I say it's the test because it's the 14 EMA, it's probably a 50 fib or whatever, too. It's a test spot. The 14 EMA alone tells you that. So let's say we get high volume here, rejection, right? And then we just saw lack of selling here. Just close the trade, right? The things have shifted for whatever reason. The why, who cares why? But right now, if we drop off in volume and we just stay really low volume and start to come down, okay, maybe things will play out and it's all good. Okay, the volume is really low on the test for buyers, so I'll do nothing. I'll do nothing right now. This should have been higher volume. Any issue, I can close a trade only down a little bit, not to full stop, and it was a half position to begin with. So always think about risk and what makes sense, you know. If you're in a position where you can get out of a trade that's starting to look really wrong, again, if we saw demand here, you can get out of a trade that's starting to look really wrong with limited small risk, you know. Any old win is going to be more than that. It's pretty small. Sometimes I think it's good to just do that. You could always get back in once things turn right again or whatever. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Again, like I said from the beginning, none of this is a surprise. That's why I went limited risk, and that was part of it also, is that these types of setups tend to set up later. They certainly happen earlier too, but the bread and butter trade, this type of look to it and everything, you know, not the scalp entries. Yeah, a lot of times it is later. It hasn't always been that way. You know, if you're watching my YouTube videos, Troy, I know you're going through that. Have you noticed something on the volume? If you look at the 1 hour chart on those old videos, it's not all about U.S. session. Sometimes you get the highest volume London, or you get two peaks, right? Notice that? You get a peak in the first few hours of London, then you chill for a bit, and then you get your second volume peak around New York Open, right? Again, if anyone wants to be like, what did charts look like 10 years ago? Go to my old videos, and you'll say, oh, shit, there was so much more going on earlier in the day. And that's why, of course, I was in this habit of I got to be on London Open. I could miss this stuff. Now it's really lopsided towards the U.S. You see the activities later in the day now. So it's kind of switched to, right, what are you going to do? You got to work with it, looking for those trades, U.S. session, the ones that have that high volume, the backgrounds playing out. And what do you do in the meantime? You can scalp, right? That's what we've been doing. And you see something like this, and you're like, yeah, it's not the old days, right? You know? Go look at those old charts. This stuff might not play out for, 2 more hours. Yeah. 2.5 hours, whatever news might be. Yeah. 3 hours, 4 hours. Yeah. You can see all that if you look at those old videos. Man, setups playing out early. These type of setups. So yeah, what are you going to do? You got to adjust to it. So it makes sense to, okay, I'm catching scalps, 5 to 10 pips, 15 pips, maybe 20 occasionally, whatever. On some high probability in the near future, this is going to happen, sort of thing. As far as the whole background, they could be against the background. You know, we've done that in the last couple of weeks, right? And then look for the background to play out in New York. It's really settled into that sort of pattern. You got to adjust. So if anything's changed in this market over the years, it's certainly that one of the biggest things. Kind of hoping it goes back to the old way, but it's not happening. Carbon, what does that even mean? I don't know. I don't know if woke is the word we want to use. Get woke, go broke. That's not good. All right, so who's woke and who's red pilled? You got woke or based. Who's woke and who's based? No, 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 no. You came in mid conversation. Oh, that's what that means? Turkey based all day. So, as I said, the trade showed a bit of loss in probability with this lack of high volume on the weakness. Talking about options. And then to get the 14 EMA test and see low volume, okay, that's some good information. But we're still like, can we get through that? Because if we can get through this 14 EMA, then we're likely to test here. We can even look at the 1 minute just for the fun of it to really see like how much buying is going on here. Because we know that's the spot. Nothing to freak out over, right? 1 minute looks nice. Look at the weakness. And then this is a buy spot. You got a little something, but really nothing. Does it tell sellers that they're going to get a high price again? Maybe if we pick up activity and then reject. So I don't know. It's a lesson today. And okay, you get into a trade, everything looks good, and it's just sitting there, and volume's dying out. What do you do? Fun. Yeah, 14 EMA rejection is not what we want to see, even though the volume was not high on the demand. But again, that's what makes it concerning here is the lack of weakness here. USD index cannot make it through the 14, right? Everybody's just struggling with the 14 here. What else is happening? Yeah. Kind of just dying volume. Getting kind of quiet. I'm thinking about what to do. I don't like that pop off. I could close half the trade. That's really taking a small loss. Half of a half position. You know what I'm saying? All about keeping the risk in check. Just considering. That's at least how I do it. If I'm seeing something that doesn't look right, take the small loss, move on if you have that chance. Or at least trim down the risk. It's not that it's terrible here. It's just kind of dying out, and we don't want it to float around and pop up or something. They're not marking it down. They didn't sell much here. It's like quiet, right? Extremely low activity. Again, it's a timing thing. It's the calm before the storm. Yeah, but the storm could be a pop-up 40 pips with huge weakness. Yeah, we'll see. It's really that thing's got quiet. Everything is just dropping in volume. Everybody's waiting for everybody else. The English are having tea now? Well, banker tea time. Okay. I do have my window open to close half of the small trades. Okay, if it goes into here. So, I think I'll maybe just trim it down. Let's see what that's looking like. It is a fib area. Last resort. But like I said, I kind of like the idea you get out on your own terms when it's not looking right. You can limit your loss. You don't have to let it run and start praying. But you do have a little fib area here, which even these little ones are valid. And the 618 here. So my stop at 95, I could move it down to, if it'll allow for a 618 overshoot there kind of thing. I can move it down to 86, 87. Or not. Maybe it'll just go. There's some signs of life there, right? The fib showed a bit of selling. And things are just very quiet. Tea time. Yeah, the way all the bars look is fine. But it's that dying volume, including that means selling didn't come in. Yeah. Yeah. Different views of the same thing. 30 minutes says weakness, but this is having trouble actually pulling away from that and doing any sort of markdown, any sort of test of demand at lower areas of the reaction. Barely confirmed weakness, yeah. Actually, there's the decrease in volume. Yeah, we don't like that. Yeah. If we break through here and we're not seeing a squash and selling, I may just close it. So what, about 20 pips on a half position instead of 30 pips, or give or take. Yeah, maybe. Again, if they sell into up moves and something sets up later, maybe again Euro session, I could take it. Again, we knew this going in. They might just want to keep selling into higher prices and not mark it down because of the time of day. That's a lot of volume here. 618 overshoot. Last chance, right? Makes sense. I'm just managing this the way it makes sense, I think. It's got to come down off of that. Otherwise, right, if we start pushing up, close higher, it's going to test the high. It might try to break. It might not see much selling, right? So why even sit through all that? As soon as I click off. Okay. They're still selling into it. Caught in the middle of some slow distribution. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying it to be like, oh, look, I called it. Oh, I'm so great. I'm saying it to say that this is just normal stuff that I expected. That's why I took half position. That's why I got my stop out of the way, allowing for that fake break and talking about how it's likely and all that. But again, like I said, there's something to be said about a good setup, and it's a correct setup that has high probability. I want to be in it. So to me, it was okay. I'll put half a risk, half my usual position size for that stop loss, percentage wise, half. So I kind of, split the difference. It's a proper setup. I'm not going to sit here and do nothing, but with all the other factors. Yeah, it's not that they're not selling into it. It's just they're taking their sweet time, and anyone's willing to buy is going to give them those higher prices. Yeah, I'll close half. I'm good with that. Close half of it. That's what I did. So half of a half position. So it's like a quarter of a position loss, right? Small. Let me see. Not in my history yet. Okay. So I trimmed down risk. It was only a small loss. To me, that makes sense. With the rest of the position at 94, there it's marked. Let's see. What else of interest? Meanwhile, now I have a tiny position on that. It's half of a half. So if it hits the stop, I'll live. Meanwhile, anything else brewing though? Dollar pairs are going to be similar. Where, yeah, of course, you have the weakness in the background, but we're on low volume floating around. So yeah, on the dollar pairs, it's all about still looking for the sell if that's going to be the behavior of weakness into up moves. If it's not showing up, right, like we saw seeing here, not much volume, so nothing to do. But I still have half the position on. See what happens. I could end up at break even if this ends up getting into profit and I just get it out for a break even situation. Or if it actually runs and does this thing, it'll be a little bit of profit. A little bit. Yeah, it kind of proves again, scalping early and then these types of trades for New York is just what the market does now. Troy, very good. Uh, if if price moving up with good spread below average volume, does that mean trend sustain? That yeah, the trend if you have an uptrend that's not hitting high volume at high prices, it's not weakness, right? It's not supply coming in, so it's likely to continue. Strong trending moves, particularly strong ones, go out with a bang in high volume before they reverse at their extremes. So yeah, you'll tend to continue until you see that weakness. Yeah. So that's part of the reasoning, right? If there's no weakness here, right, it's more likely to continue up. So that's why I closed half the trade. Certainly loss probability. Keep the loss small. Keep risk in check. And again, the reason I haven't taken anything else, it's all about this stuff brewing, which, again, could happen U.S. session. More likely than not. It is quiet right now, though. You see the volume just dropped on everything. Volume is just low everywhere. So the market's not, you're not seeing large pre-positioning or anything great to work off of. Tea time. Not that exciting. Sorry. Very welcome. All right, we're here. Not much to do. Still got a piece of this. I think maybe, I don't know. Tell me, is it helpful to, managing a trade that's you get yourself into situations where it's not looking good. What do you do? At least how I do it. It's only probability, right? You got to get ready for the losses. They're coming. Could be 2 out of 10 trades. Then you're great. That's awesome. Do that, and cut them small. So when it comes to risk, I'll talk about that all day. I'll focus on that the whole time. That's fine. All about risk. Keep the risk in check, and everything will work out. If you consider this was half position and I closed some early, it's less than 1% to begin with. So it might be a, point 0.6, 0.6 loss in the end, somewhere around there. I'll see if it hits the stop. So at least if you're going to be wrong, only be a little bit wrong. And it's probability, right? It actually, it's a setup I would have taken any time I would want to put something on it. You know, there's no regret about getting in short here. Watch it drop. Everything will work out. I should have just walked away and let it. I'm taking the no regrets approach. That's what we always say. No regrets. No regrets. Can't look back and say, I should have not done that. I should have done that. Why did I do that? I should have done something else. You have to figure out how to trade in such a way where you never say that. You're able to look back and say, I did the logical thing at the time based on what the charts were saying. Being aware of your risk. Listen to the chart, right? What else is there? But if this continues down, I'm not going to say, oh, I shouldn't have closed half. I'll maybe make a little something or break even. That's really fine. Who cares? Again, if it hits the stop, it's less than half of what normally, I would have hit on a regular stop. So, again, there's no looking back and going, I should have done this or that. Ooh, that was a really bad one. Can't let that stuff happen. So, I don't know, maybe that's helpful for you. That's what we're dealing with today. Taking notes of your thought process, applying to my method. Yeah, it doesn't mean trade the way I trade, but I think some of this stuff is logical. It's just from experience. Friggin' losses, man. They're going to happen. What do you do? What do you do? Okay, I'm listening to the chart. I'm going to try to trim them down. I'm trying to limit them. I'm trying to avoid a full position. Maybe your max risk is 2%. Try to avoid a 2% loss. Maybe, more times than not, you may get a warning earlier than that it's not looking good, To me, logically, it's good to, react to what you're seeing in a limited loss kind of way. Because the losses will happen. You can't avoid it. So that's the way I deal with it. Rarely you get into a trade, it all looks good, and then the whole position shoots to your stop loss. Something's going to look wrong first. It'll say, yeah, cut it down. And you may be at break even around your entry point. Maybe you're down 3 pips. You go, you know what? I'm going to trim this down. I'm going to close half. That's how I deal with things starting to go wrong. Yeah. You never look back and say, oh, that was a bad idea. So, yeah, however you trade, right, that might be helpful. You got to have some way to be disciplined on that stuff. Limit the loss. The inevitable losses. But yeah, it was amazing to see the difference, how London session used to be so active in these types of trades set up. And so it's like I got to kind of accept the fact that these types of setups work in U.S. session and stick to the scalp entries, which kind of sucks because then I wouldn't have been taking this short. And what, am I looking to go long off the 14 EMA now? Jeez. But stick to the scalp mentality, I guess, because it's so extreme now. Just, again, the market used to not be this way, so it's an adjustment. FX Trader in Discord group. Is that Troy? Yeah, that's Troy. Type Rob. Yes, I hardly let my stop loss hit like maybe once in 15 trades. Okay, yeah. Risk win rate is a little lower than it should be, but taking off risk when you should early is a game changer. Okay, good. You always can come back the next day and get started, and you're not digging yourself out of a hole. It's all good. You always have that fresh start where you're not trading a smaller position size because you took these losses and now your account's smaller, so now you use less lots and you're trying to dig your way back. That's another thing to avoid. And also, speaking of this stuff, like if I have 2 losses in a row, that tells me that some probabilities that were supposed to happen isn't happening and things are kind of sloppy. And then from there, I would even wait until some normal stuff happens. You see like a regular storyline that makes sense again. So really limiting. That's any kind of funny business. When I saw early sign, I closed 90% of my position, let 10% run. Well, there you go. No stress on that. Hi, Pete. Any trade set up today? Join stream late today. I'm working my way out, possibly. We'll see what happens here with the euro dollar. Of a short that didn't work out. And we're talking about limiting risk. I only took half my position. I thought this might happen. It might be good for you to watch the stream and see what we were dealing with. If you get a chance. I know it's long. On the 14 EMA stuff, yeah, it's pull back further to 50 EMA. So maybe it's a stop loss question about where it may pull back, but it really shouldn't pull back very much. It scalps, and could be a 12 pip stop or whatever, depending on the pair. But if you have a nice trending move structurally, higher highs, higher lows, or whatever, the 5 minutes, and the volume's not showing any, resistance to that, weakness and up moves or strength and down moves, and that behavior is right off the 14 EMA, you got your probability built in. Maybe you're not sure where to put the stop loss. Typically, it's beyond or allowing for a fake break of the 14 EMA test. Because you're talking about if it pushes back further to the 50 EMA, and like, just for an example, we saw a few scalps in the session the last couple of weeks, so maybe we did talk about stop, but obviously not going to go hunting through all that. Let's say this was an entry here. I wouldn't take it because of that weakness, but let's say that was a long entry there. This behavior is good here, right? You can see that stuff going on, this sort of pattern. We talked about that. Stop loss. First of all, the low of that swing, this could chop around in there and easily stop you out. If the pip count is big, it's a different story, I guess. But in this case, let's see, 72.65. So a 10 pip stop gets you all the way down here. Let's call it this line. That's a 10 pip stop from there. So not even, like, you could allow for a little fake break, whatever. And getting it below that, allowing for a fake break. And at that point, if it goes beyond that, okay, it may go to support and all that. So if it's a scalp, you take the small loss, you get out. It's typically, though, a good pip count to get it beyond allow for a fake break of that swing point before the entry. Allow for the fake break so you're not right there. You're here. Right? In this case, it's 10 pips right there. That works. There's nothing complicated about the stop loss or anything. And you could also add other analysis like little fibs and support term resistance, and just use obvious places that you want to get a little beyond, a little past that, in case there's a little stop hunt, little fake break thing. On euro dollars, I'm waiting for pullback for 50, 60 fib levels on the 1 hour. Well, generally with the dollar pairs, I know you didn't hear the analysis, right? Is that the pound has been strong. Let's put that aside for a second. The dollar pairs have broken out to the downside. Remember the range? So we finally got out because of lack of demand. If we're seeing supply, we're likely to continue. Maybe try to break the low there. If we have supply, which we started to see in the 5-minute, and it kind of disappeared. So maybe it'll be later in the day when it typically happens. But you have the lower low, lower high structure for the most part, and you have a lack of demand on this strong move. So if you get supply, lack of demand, you're likely, right, have another leg down. And that applies here as well. I drew it in. If you get some volume there, right, this is the easy one. So that's the overall general analysis, U.S. Open kind of setup stuff for today. Is that pretty much what you were thinking there, Wixie? It's nice that we're trending down, but we really haven't seen weakness. Let's get some weakness. We didn't have demand. That's good. Yes. Okay, good. Cool. Yeah. As I've been saying the whole time we've been sitting staring at this thing, it's not if they're selling enough moves, it's if they're ready to mark it down and how high it may go. But you're likely to continue to see weakness. Here we actually didn't see it, but here it is again. See the 1 minute, is it really at the high price? Oh, it's not. See, it's good to check the 1 minute. Wow, so different. So the 5 minutes said there's high volume there, but the 1 minute shows that it's actually a rejection of a lower price. Here's your supposed weakness areas. Not great. Oh, tomorrow I won't be here. I've got a all-night boarding session. Pete Fader After Dark. Probably going to go till 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm used to it. They start falling asleep on the couch, you know. So I won't be here tomorrow, but most likely I'll be here Thursday as usual. Weird day today, right? That whole thing earlier too. Oh, bad energy, man. Weird day. God. Weird last 2 days. As I forgot who mentioned it. The astrology points to it. I'm not surprised. I don't follow it. I don't know how to, but something's got to explain. Something's in the air the last 48 hours, 24 hours. Something's in the air. Very like out of line, confrontational, out of touch with the situation, with the room kind of behavior. Like, wow, whoa. My gosh. Wixie, you missed it. I'm glad. The shit show. Not really. A little bit. Anyway, back to trading. Sir, do you trade mostly after automatic rally break or having no issue with candle closing above or below, no demand supply? One I do more. If you're talking about the 5-minute pattern of entry, you're not talking about background, right? You're saying an entry on a small time frame. Um, which one do I do more? Is that what you're asking? Yeah, mostly. Uh, it's kind of it's like probably more so the break of automatic rally. But there are times where I'll do it sooner off the 14 EMA test if everything looks really good. Then that's more of an aggressive entry to not wait. It's more aggressive. More often, I would say, is break of AR. Yeah. Again, these types of setups are happen U.S. sessions, so we're not here to see it. Meanwhile, today I didn't wait for the break on my short, but it looked good. Got to say, it did look good. Probability was there. Didn't play out. Okay, cool. Breaking your heart. Why? Because I won't be here tomorrow. Just run the Discord. You guys can post charts and look for stuff. A lot of you guys are getting this. I didn't invent most of this. I didn't invent it. I'm sharing material in the Discord. I think it's just the best stuff. It looks like you guys agree. In the educational section of the Discord. And you see where I got all this stuff from if you didn't know already. You know. So it's like, okay, cool. You learn it too, right? I got my own kind of spin on it, how I use it. You guys can learn it too, and everybody knows what the heck they're doing. Good. Doesn't mean everyone has to trade the same. It does, and maybe there'll be different takes on what's going on a chart sometimes, but not most of the time. Most of the time, everybody will be seeing the same thing, right? So yeah, go at it. Yeah, that channel, right? You first see it, you're like, oh God, what is this going to be? Some BS. And then I'm listening to this guy talk because of the production value is kind of good. He's a little, the way he speaks, he's kind of dramatic, and the music's going. He's like a spy with the animations on the chart. And then I'm listening to him talk. He got extra 10 subscribers. Yeah, that's probably the last link I shared. I did share it earlier, but most recently, the last link I had shared in the education in the Discord. Yeah, and I'm listening to him talk, and I'm like, he sounds just like me. He'll word things the same way I'll word them. And I watched another video. I'm like, okay, he gets it, and he presents it nice, in a nice way, a little polished. So that's cool. Good videos there. He knows all about like all this stuff, everything that goes into this, including the stop hunts and getting traders on the wrong side, and including that into patterns on charts and how to see it. Yeah, all that stuff is there. Very good. It's good weekend stuff too, or like when you're driving or you listen to it or whatever. Well, you can't really look at the chart, but why don't you share setups in Discord based on 1 hour time frame? Setups in Discord based on the one. Oh, like the U.S. session stuff. Sometimes I pop in there. I'm usually kind of in bed doing it on my phone. But yeah, U.S. sessions stuff building up. I will try to pop in there and let you know. It was good, yeah. Anxiously waiting for analysis in Discord. Oh gosh, anxiously. Are sellers satisfied that this is all they're going to get? Well, if we test for demand and it's not showing up, maybe we'll be on our way. But yeah, we saw in the 1 minute it wasn't the cleanest weakness, actually. So, yeah, who knows? Not something you want to have a big risk on. No. More weakness on the pound, huh? Weakness. Does look kind of bearish short term because of that. We know the pound's been strong, but you see it. Weakness. It's quiet time of day. It's not huge volume. But I would say for the U.S. session trade, scalps aside, to be looking to buy the pound lower. Actually, yeah, well, you could not the dollar, kind of a mismatch. Pound yen, yeah, yeah. So that weakness, right? Okay, that might bring it down. There you go. Testing for demand right now. So if this was, yeah, as it's building up high, if this was going to stay low volume here, let's see, then it's showing a lack of demand. Okay, it's into some higher prices. It's some mix of buying and selling here. But initially, the demand did not show up. But that's a little high. Yeah, that's a little high in volume. Yeah, short-term weakness. Long-term or background-wise, has been buying on the pound. Yeah, but that wasn't hard to see, though, right? It was trending down and not seeing buyers, and then followed by weakness. So not hard to see. Yeah. Yeah, pound yen likely going for the low there and maybe try to break. Not too much demand in the way. This, I would have liked to see lower volume. That's the only imperfection. Maybe this will close down on low volume. But you have weakness here, and then it's a downtrend structure. So just have a good probability of trying to break that low next before anything else. It's a little weird on the 1 minute, though, wasn't it? The weakness. Yeah, ideally you want to focus off the high, and the 5 minute appears that it is, but when you check the 1 minute, it's actually not. That's why I like, yeah, it's good to check. You see that big difference, right? That's why I'll quickly flip to the 1 minute and see, okay, make sure that selling is there. It's actually high volume leading to that little lower volume there. So, and again, maybe some buying. So it's not as good as it looks when you see that. Looks like weakness. Because you look at this and say, okay, selling right there. But we just saw it. It's actually buying here. So not the cleanest thing. If this really drops in volume down here, and then it helps the probability. But that isn't quite right. Not quite right. Am I still in EU yet? I have half my position. Half, yeah. With the stop at 94. So obviously, unless I add to it, which I'm not going to, at least not off of this right now, I'll just end up, if we actually start to mark down through here, small profit. Make it back to the low. Okay, that's something actually decent. But once I get up, let's say whatever that is, 20 pips on this, which is around this area, then I'll have made back what I closed, the half that I closed. If it goes here, I'll get a bit of profit. Unless I add to it, but right now I'm not. But I could end up doing that, especially as you get closer to U.S. session. You start seeing, we're still around here seeing weakness, lack of demand. We start to mark down. It's U.S., maybe add to it. That's the way I'm dealing with it. You're still fully in. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not liking it enough for that. It's like the weakness is there. I don't want to totally close it. We saw what was happening, and then it just kind of fizzled out. Maybe they want higher prices. Maybe they can get them. I don't know. Yeah, it went from looking really good to getting really quiet. It's just no volume anywhere, and then this choppy stuff. And again, a lot of this weakness that you see, probably here too, is not as great when you check the 1 minute. Yeah, look at that. So deceptive. It's opposite. It's complete opposite. Showing buying. All right, it's hidden with it. Is that why they say hidden? It's hidden in there. In this case, it's hidden buying because we think it's selling. But you actually see it close higher on less volume there. You want to see the highest volume there. So there's buying that led to an up move. And on that, is that the way, or is that a different one? Yeah, no, we just looked at this one. Yeah. So that one looks a little better. See, you have that selling at the top, classic weakness right there. And this one's pretty good too. Yeah, things went a little weird there. Right? You see it, buying coming in the same price area. A little weird. So, like you would look at this from a 5 minute and go, that's an easy, obvious short. But no, right? Get no demand here off weakness, right? You would be thinking short. But look at that 1 minute and see, do you really want to be going short, right? Into that, selling right into that. Off no demand here. You'd be selling into an area that actually just saw buying. That's a tricky one there. But yeah, you see it. Just factual. Yeah. Man, it's tough. I miss the old days. After seeing those charts today, I just saw a couple of old videos of mine from like 8 years ago. Like, wow, it really used to be that extreme. And it's just been like steadily moving more and more to just high activity US session and this kind of messing around stuff. Man, I miss the old days. So you end up waiting for New York. Yep. Well, I could end the session. There's not much to do. If we're waiting for New York, we're waiting for New York. I mean, if there was something here, I would take it. But yeah, we've looked. Some days by now, I already have 2 trades closed. Some days I don't take anything till the U.S. Every now and then you get nothing. Every day's different. Gotta stick to those scalps early. The market just does what it behaves this way now. It's funny because these scalps actually would have, worked out sort of. I mean, there's no way I would be buying here. But you see the 14 EMA, and so once it starts to pull away, it makes that move. Well, this could all work out. We'll see if he wants to break here without demand, right? See if we can finally do it. Welcome to trading right. Right. You're going to have exciting days, boring days, losing days. But it's always small loss. And you're good. All right. If it's going to try to move down and test, I'll hang out and see. We got a little sloppy in here, but we had the weakness in the background, lack of demand. Everything looked fine. Maybe we'll be on our way now. But normally, like testing off the 14, we just got this wide, blew through it kind of stuff. But I do also consider the 50. And getting through that on low volume is good if we can do that. Then we're likely going here. And the main thing is just to not have any issue with demand. And it should be able to get out then. Weird day today. Weird day. Something in the air. I think my mic's messed up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier about risk and all that. If you end up watching the stream from today, you'll see. Yeah, we were talking about that stuff. That's why I like chilling with you live. You learn and you have company with intelligent conversation. Yes, cool. Thanks for blowing it for us, Mark. Yeah, God, there's something in the air, man. I'm telling you, it's so weird to have that twice in a row. Somebody did exactly the same thing yesterday to me. Same type of situation where they were just asserting themselves in that same way. Like, whoa, huh? Just out of touch with the room, like completely out of touch with what's really going on right now. In like this aggressive, like insulting way. It happened twice, like 2 nights in a row to me. I'm God, leave me alone. Man, I ain't getting paid. I don't work for you. Troy, all right, cool. Yeah, you got that better entry. Nice, nice. Troy, yeah, I hope you keep doing well with your aggressive approach, where, of course, you're reading factual information off the chart. That's what matters. And your entry is logical based on your reasoning. But like you say, you're doing it more aggressively than me, and I hope it keeps working. That's very cool if it's worked for you. Especially I see you doing it on gold. So maybe there's a little difference in behavior where that is a little more appropriate there, perhaps. Why do people need to? I don't. Ugh. I mean, the first thing enters my mind. I mean, it's a lot to get. It's a whole conversation. Oh. I was saying to my friend after the way he acted, I'm like, he's really. I just said like he must have had a certain childhood with certain things go on to even be like that. And then I talked to somebody who knows him well, and he goes, "This happened to him." I'm like, I know, I could tell. He got beat by his stepfather, didn't he? Like, fuck, this guy's messed up, man. Uh, I don't know how. I don't know, man. It's so weird. Just completely out. It's just so similar to what happened yesterday. It's just freaking me out. I was like, what? It's something in the air. It's the astrology. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, yeah, that'll be cool to see if that keeps working for you. Maybe I gotta start trading gold aggressively. But no, keep doing your thing. See how it goes. Good stuff. All right, so I figured I'd hang around to see what this is gonna look like. The lower the volume, the better, and we're seeing this, so that's not bad. As far as this trade starting to go and go. 1 minute, yeah, that's the demand we're dealing with. There's a bit, it's not much. To see it stay there in this price area and volume drop off, it kind of tells you whoever was willing to buy here did so. So you should be good if you can break down with no issue here. Ugh, that 1 minute looks terrible though. You see it. This looked great back here. So yeah, mixed bag. Worth small risk, right? Again, no regrets. I always go back to that. Small position here. That's fine with me. He keeps coming back. Oh, we're hitting it. There we go. Take on Bitcoin. Oh, we did it earlier. These long streams. I hate telling people to go back and watch because I don't know where to send you in the stream. It was about an hour and a half ago. But let's see. Owen, I know you for a while. I want to answer your question. Um, I have not bought yet. I'll give you the short version of Bitcoin. I have not bought yet. We all see it. I'm swing trading. I like the larger time frames on the cryptos. 4-hour chart. Strength is there. Potentially the accumulation. Again, this was not a surprise. We knew that this could come down here, and let's see. So I have not bought. But we have strength. We have a bit of strength, all right? So we do see that accumulation type of activity. We haven't seen any large weakness, suggesting, positioning into up moves and weakness. So it's behaving like accumulation. It's okay. This could be higher, but then again, that's pretty high in history. It's medium. Yeah, we could use a little more buy volume there, but also you see it's a fake break pattern, or the spring in Wyckoff, right? So this is like classic Wyckoff accumulation. But where to buy? I'm not buying down here yet. I want to see lack of supply. I want to see test of automatic rally, which I guess you would take as this right now. Maybe that, actually. But they're both kind of going to be useful to test for supply, test for selling. If you start to make higher highs and higher lows out of here, maybe even look at a 1-hour chart, and you're seeing more demand than supply, right? And again, getting through like an automatic rally type of level without any weakness coming in, then you could go into markup maybe. So I'm not overly aggressively trying to pick the bottom or anything. It's a decent start though. But I have not bought yet. Looking decent. Notice the 14 EMA. It's just some magical thing. I don't know. Here it is on the 1-hour, right? Rejecting every single time. You get a little overshoot. And here we are again. There's something about that moving average, right? And so if we can finally close above, maybe, and we don't see supply, right? We're looking for the imbalance. We know demand's active, but if supply is still active, maybe they'll continue to buy lower. So that's the question, right? That applies to all the major stuff here. Do they continue to buy through here? If not, I wait. I still don't buy, right? But it's definitely going on sale. Price goes in two directions. This would be one of them. There's also up. Sooner or later. But that's what it comes down to, I think, right? Makes sense. Is looking for that imbalance to show up. We know that the demand is there. Let's see lack of supply. And treat it like however, you want to treat a accumulation. Buying off lows and managing it could be something there where you have a risk reward in the accumulation range itself, where you're, have a nice risk reward, even if it doesn't make it into markup. Buying off low fake breaks and stuff. Depends how you want to deal with accumulation. I'm looking for that lack of supply. Thanks. Good to see you, Owen. Yeah, I was out of commission for a while with my back. It was months. Had back surgery. Luckily, it was anything crazy. It fixed the problem. I'm pretty much good now. So I did miss a bunch of time this year. But yeah, I've been doing this regularly now, so if you can make it. Usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow I won't be here. I'll be here Thursday. So no issue with demand coming in, but where's that's a decent bounce. Let's see the 5 minute, the 1 minute. Oh no, I don't want to look. The 1 minute looks just so much worse. Like, okay, the 5 minute is deceptive through here. Back when we started, it was great. Weakness, lack of demand. And then we're hitting some buying. We're a little choppy. Anything else of interest? Gold and silver, I'm just swing trading. The last place I bought on silver, I've said it a million times because it's not very often, was in this area. It was here off strength, or building up positions. Somewhere in here, I had this is a big old fib zone. And then I think probably off of that low, maybe I bought some, and now I'm just sitting on it. And it's in profit. Oil, I'm waiting for that to come down still. Ooh, we have some buying. Okay. I've been waiting. I have no swing position on oil whatsoever. Waiting. After weakness, I got out. Very simple. Around 112, I got out. And watching this go by, where do I want to buy? And looking for demand to come in. Might be seeing it now. So we do have a fake break. Let's look at that volume. That's a daily chart. Big. Okay. Maybe start building a position on oil now. That's how I swing trade. Of my max position, I could put 25%, right, of what I would risk in total. 30%, whatever it is. Off of something like that. Nice buying to the down move. This high volume on the up move actually resulted in higher prices, right? After result, this was just very aggressive buying. And of course through here too. That hasn't happened in a long time. That's what I've been waiting for. Yep. Oh, yesterday too. Okay, right. So it's starting to come in. Bam, it hit there. We got a fake break, huge volume. Okay. Look at the volume on that stuff, right? Compared to average. Huge. That's huge. That's what I've been waiting for. All right. Fake break. Yeah. So I'm going to officially start working my way back into oil. I told everybody the prices are coming down. Your gas prices are coming down. Now I'll tell them, okay, they might go back up again. But yeah, it's been so simple. If you see like why I got out around the 112 area. Where am I? Back here. Because of that weakness. Sorry, my chart's all over the place. See the high volume weakness coming in. All right, look at that compared to the past. I was ready to hold this for a while. I really thought fundamentally, like I trade fundamentally, but I thought fundamentally, U.S. is cutting oil production and everything. It's kind of an agenda to get off oil and blah, blah, blah. I thought this was going to 200. Then I see this stuff. I'm like, I'm out. But yeah, time to buy again. Work my way in long. Start building up. Very nice. Yeah, thanks. Doing much better now, man. Definitely changes you to be in that much pain for that period of time. Is it over? That was it? I'm a goner. It was so bad. It's so bad. It's like traumatizing. I've talked about this. I won't get into it again. Sciatica, all the way to the max. Swollen leg and everything. God, it was hell. I can't explain the hell. Anyway. So maybe this thing works out. This is the trade we took. It's testing the automatic support now. No issue with strength. Maybe we'll be on our way. If you haven't touched the trade since the entry, you got a bit of profit now, finally. And let's see if it can get through here without demand. The lower the volume, the better. If we get a sudden spike in demand, you could be sitting here in New York, you get one more spike up, right? It's all about, are they ready to mark down? Is the demand that inactive? We'll see. Pound yen bounced and overshoot 618, then chopping around. This one, yeah. It was the lack of buying here, lack of buying. I said, okay, not time to buy. Maybe it'll go to that larger fib. Bit of weakness. So yeah, hunting that for later probably, yeah. Uh yeah, oil. There you go. Looking simple, easy. The only question is of what I have allotted to buy oil, what percentage do I want to start buying? I'm thinking 30, maybe 35% of that total so I can buy more if it goes down. Because I'm completely flat at the moment. But yeah, the chart says so. Does not sound good. Uh, what doesn't sound good? Oh, what the hell I went through? Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like you can't sleep. You can't sleep more than 10 minutes because the pain's so bad for weeks and weeks. If you get 30 minutes, yeah, I was lucky. 30 minutes of sleep for weeks and weeks. So it was just little naps. But the problem is I would take the pain medication, right? And finally I could fall asleep. But something about falling asleep, I would still wake up 20 minutes later and I would feel as if I didn't even take the pain medication. It made it wear off, the fact that I fell asleep. So now I'm back to square one. I can't take it again. I have to wait. I have to wait 3 or 5 hours or whatever it was till I can take it again. But it's completely worn off. So then it became I take the pain medication and I have to stay awake. Like I'm struggling to keep my eyes open. I barely slept. But if I go to sleep, I'll just wake up in 20 minutes and I won't have the effect of the medication. It'll be gone. And this went on for weeks while they put me through the ringer to finally get to the point of surgery. So I'm talking. I'm like, I need to sleep. How am I going to live? Don't you have to sleep to live? I mean, yeah, I got to that point. Like I couldn't lay down. I was just kneeling to sleep. I would kneel on the couch with my knees on the floor on a pillow. The hell I can't even describe. Holy shit. I literally just would stand in my kitchen all night, just, cringing at the pain, hours on end, trying not to wake anybody up. Sad, man. I feel bad for myself. Anyway. Thank God. Shit. Thank God. To be like back to regular life, like nothing happened. I have a little leftover pain. I'll take it. Yeah, give me. It's fine. I can walk. I can drive. I can live. I'll take it. Take the pain. It's fine. I can function. Not bad. I don't know. There's some lesson. There's some philosophical crap in there I'm supposed to tell you. Appreciate things. When everything's fine, everything's fine. Is everything fine? Everything's fine? Oh, thank God. Man, life could fucking suck, man. How's that? Oh, it could get really bad. Don't forget. If you're good right now, you don't really have any major problems, you're okay. Oh, God, thank God. Man, there's a dark side to life. Pain, you know? You go through some shit. Damn. That's the lesson I learned, I guess, right? But also, I am on the Facebook groups trying to help people who are dealing with this problem. They're literally posting, "Help me! I don't know what to do." Like, so I try to help. Have you gotten an MRI yet? No. Okay, you got to get an MRI and have somebody explain it to you and know what's the problem. Figure that out first. Don't speculate and mess around with a chiropractor. You know. So I have experience in this area now, you know. Jeez. If you got back pain, let me know. I'll help you out. Carbon, what's up? You're texting me. I'm streaming. Type in the stream. So the lower the volume, the better here, right? As we sit here in this trade forever. I get a little bit here, but no major issue. You know, the more you back out, the better it looks. Fruit. Eat fruit. Oh, your tree is bearing fruit. You're up $110. Very nice. You're just slicing and dicing with those aggressive entries. But you're where's Mark? Stop it. Oh my gosh. He's long apparently. All right, so let's see. Where's Mark's stop loss? Make that your target. It used to be Eddie, and now it's Mark. Stop, I'm not doing it. Oh gosh. Yeah, you can never have too many fibs. Fibs it's information. It's information. So that being the fib of the move up, it was even more likely to say, okay, if there's buyers, if there's a problem with buyers, it's going to be here, right? 618 overshoot. So that's not terrible. You see the volume. There's a bit here, but not bad. You could run into certainly more trouble than that sometimes at a 618 overshoot. So you can kind of get a read on it there. Yeah, getting crying is my. I know it's a getting old, but you know what's? I first had back problems when I was 21, so this has been a lifelong thing. But yeah, not to this extent. Yeah, slip disc, never fully heal right, act up over time, and then so I've had that my whole life. It gives me leg pain because of the nerves, but I've had long periods where I'm perfectly fine. But the discs sometimes they don't heal right. Sometimes they're completely slipped. I found out, man, I learned a lot of stuff. Most people, especially by the time they're 40, 50, but most people in general have discs out of place in their back. They just don't have pain because it's not actually touching the nerve. It depends how it's misaligned, how it's out of place. Because the surgeon goes, you have one on your left side too. He goes, you don't feel that, huh? I'm like, no, my left side's fine. My right side is destroyed. Like, all right, but you got a disc sticking out the left side, and that would be affecting my left leg and waist down, but that's not hitting anything. So most people do have slip discs that aren't hitting nerves. And then that can act up later in life. Yeah. Getting old. Well, you know what I think? My 2 cents. If Mark were here, he'd disagree with me. Oh, God. Here we go. My 2 cents is worth, maybe not even worth that much, is that you got to not stress out as you get old. Because stress it aggravates everything that you have potentially to go wrong. That's what I noticed. So if somebody has, okay, your blood pressure's a little high, your cholesterol's a little high, or, this and that going on, if you're in a relaxed state most of the time, easier said than done, it's going to tend to be less of a problem. If you're going through some shit, it's stressing you out, or, then those things tend to become a problem. Yeah. Stress makes every condition aggravated, I notice. So that's my 2 cents, right? That's why, like, stressing people out is actually messed up, You're going to make me sick. Leave me alone. Someone stresses me out enough, my back starts hurting. I'm like, God, leave me alone. Get out of here. So, yeah, you notice that, Troy, yeah. I'm sure I would figure, I'm no doctor. I'm going to figure a doctor would probably tell you the same thing. Lower stress, because that's making all your other little issues worse. Yeah. So that's one big thing to talk about. Diet and exercise, that's nice. But if you're stressed out all the time, you're going to have problems, I think. Oh, you had that with your back 2 weeks, couldn't move. I figured it's so common. Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, I wish mine was 2 weeks. Couldn't move. Yeah, yeah. I had a cane. God. But what's crazy about it is, it's one little thing that's off in your back. As we're waiting for this, something else to talk about. It's one little thing in your back. It's tiny, the problem. But the problem is, everything connects. All your nerves go to your spine, which go to your brain. So that's how you feel everything. It's like the central server's gone down. Everything connected to it is fucked now. So your leg actually feels like it's the worst pain possible. So it's not exaggerating to say my leg felt like I was beat with a bat. If somebody took a bat and beat my leg for an hour with a bat, right? How would you feel the next day? It's actually that bad, even though there's nothing actually happened to your leg. It's crazy like that. Like, wow, how can I even feel this much pain? There's nothing going on there. It's crazy. Oh, Troy. Okay. Smart cookie. Yes, I see. Stress is usually in top 3 factors of every disease. There you go. Yeah. Disease. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I know how to relax. That's important. Because everybody's going to get, some crap going on. You're going to have to deal with it. It's just you have an emotional response, and nothing you can do about it. But if you can I'm an introvert. If you can get away and get to that place in the same day where you get back to peace, you know, your body will thank you. Yeah. Troy, yeah. How old are you, Troy? Okay, you know these things here. You're not 25. Okay. Well, I already knew that you're not 25. You said you own a few restaurants, and I get the sense you were older. But yeah, these are things that become obvious when you get older, right? Um, 011. Yeah, I don't want to go into details, but something nobody's talking about. Imagine going to the toilet when you can't move. Everything was terrible. Yes. I didn't crap my pants though. And the doctor was saying, "Have you lost bowel control?" I'm like, "No, thank God. I have not crapped my pants yet." I feel like if I didn't get the surgery, within a few weeks I would have been crapping my pants. Yeah. Because I was losing feeling. I was losing muscular control. Yeah. But I actually had the opposite problem. It might have been from the medication, or I think it was just because I had no muscle control. Like I was really losing it. It's very scary that I didn't go for like almost 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm eating, but it ain't coming out. Like, this is not good either, besides the no sleep. God, I was in such bad shape. I never have that problem, too. Protruding belly. Like, but I was skinny from not eating, but my belly was sticking out from not going. Like, oh, God, it was hell. Anyway. Yeah, there goes the euro dollar. Hey, everybody. Yeah, okay, good. Let's see if we can get going. No high volume, no high volume, no whammies. If you're 49, you know no whammies. You know what that is. What's the name of that show? Press Your Luck. Yeah. No buyers, no whammies. So, Troy, you're 49. Okay, yeah. I figured it was about that. There you go. Troy, I am glad you got a better price than me and your aggressive entry worked. And I'm also glad you didn't close partial. I'm happy. There you go. You're up 250. Nice, nice. No buyers, no whammies. Oh, a little bit. A little bit of buying. Uh, Sorry, I was getting a text. Yeah, a little bit of buying. Yeah. I wouldn't mind moving my stop to break even or in a place that makes sense, managing that risk, right? Um, in this pattern, now again, like the when setups start to go a little bit off, I manage a little bit more aggressively, right? If this was more picture perfect the way it started off, then I would just give it its room. But talking about where this could go to crap and lose some probability again, and maybe considering that for a stop. If you have your stop at 94, or if you have you're right. Um, I'm just thinking out loud. Normally, you break this, we'll see we can actually close down, and right, a lot of times, probably at least half the time, right, we see a lot of times the break test continuation of this sort of thing. And things tend to overshoot, right? We always see overshoots. So let's say it's there, right? Then also your 14 EMA is going to be coming through. So I could, and that's pretty much where my entry was anyway. If we're talking about like stop loss, that would be give or take break even. But you get into a situation where, okay, there's a bit too much strength coming in, maybe, right? And then you're looking for the break test and you can't do the break test and you come back. It depends. It depends how bad it looks as far as strength or, and how you want to manage it. But I like to get in a situation where if you move your stop to break even, it's not just because of no reason. It's actually this, for example, the breakout would have to actually fail. Like we failed this breakout and we're coming back up. Okay. Maybe I do want to get out, especially if there's high volume strength, right? Or if not, let it do its thing. Like go already, and you stay in it, or overshoot, and you stay in. So just thinking about out loud about managing in situations that are not as clean like this, where it got a little sloppy after I got in. I tend to manage a little more aggressively and not just say, "Oh, everything's great." Why didn't they sell more up there? Not picture perfect. Let's find market have how you made your psychology to comment and relax all the time and not getting aggressive. How? It used to be an actual thing, like to think about before I start, and then eventually it became a habit where I don't have to do that anymore. But for a time, uh, sorry, for a time I used to myself think, okay, I have to remember to do this, get into a certain state of mind, relax, remind yourself of things like I don't have to take a trade today. I want to maintain my standards and just be calm, get into this mode. Now I do it automatically, but it is something you got to work on. Yeah, you have to be aware. If you're all worked up and then you're getting to the charts and you don't have the right state of mind, yeah, that's not good. You got to get into a habit. It's like training. Train yourself to be that way. Like I'll get excited in life, but not when I'm in this mode. It's only so excited I'll get. I'm not jumping up and down even when I win. It's like, okay, good work. I'll jump up and down later. Troy, you doing good on pound yen. Okay, let's see what you got there. You're just slicing and dicing. Calming voice. Cool. Well, that would be good. You don't want some. I remember back in the day, some trade room I attended, you know, really, so long ago. And this guy was shouting, especially when there'd be a trade. Just start shouting. Everything was like we're like, what would we even compare it to? But yeah, it was like excitement level going on. Like, oh my gosh. Run a meditation class. Oh, that's definitely not me. Cool. Well, that's good since you have to hear it so much. I would imagine you look at the charts and you just hear my voice. Fake break. 618 overshoot. No demand. Oh, wait, that's Gavin. Yeah, well, you're a knight, so there you go. Troy the knight. All right. Good for today, right? This is looking okay. No problem with high volume. No close back inside the range. Think we'll call it a day. Good stuff on the pound yen there. Nice. Again, what else could I tell you before I go? For later, well, I was going to look for this for later, so maybe it'll play out now. If there's any issue, demand comes in, it pops up on news. Is there even news? No. Light, medium. But if we happen to move up and see weakness again, nice and clean, it's still there. It could even do a fake break, and how these things go, and then come down. But what else would I be looking for today? What did this end up doing? Stuck in the middle between strength and weakness still. This is like last week, and it never worked itself out because the pound's a bit strong. Yeah, pound dollar, not a great matchup. Pound yen, extremely clear uptrend, and looking to buy on strength. And this might have been the retracement, and that's it. But that's something to look at today if we get down here. But you see the high is not showing weakness. So this is likely very soon, right? Testing that high, maybe going another leg up. So there's nothing about this uptrend that says it's over. Again, I don't love it because it's the pound strength driving it, not the yen weakness. Is the yen getting weak? Okay, it is, right. We ranged, and then now possibly it is. So that could all come together then. Weak yen, strong pound. Now you have a better matchup than the pound dollar. Yeah. What else? Then we had this potentially today. Okay, look for that later. Weakness would be nice. Again, here it's been simply, just low volume the last couple of days. And if we get that pop, right, US Open, and that comes in as a weakness here on this pair, that's really clean, straightforward. So that's some stuff to look for. So you guys, hang out in the Discord and post charts. And again, like I said, like this isn't all just my method. This is stuff now. In case you didn't know, I'm sharing in the educational section in the Discord. Sources of material, and you can see where I got a lot of this stuff from. Some things I use, some I don't. But the general approach there, and to learn it and apply it and share it. It doesn't have to all be me. There's no reason everybody start learning it. Obviously, you are. So, share away. Wixie, yeah, exactly. Yep. Rob. Yeah, hang on the Discord. G-Force. Thank you. What are your thoughts on tape reading the dome? Any correlation via say? You could. It's information, right? It's factual information. If you think, so if anything's factual, it's telling you some immediate information. If it works, I've looked at everything under the sun, and it's like what ends up affecting actually entering trades was more of this stuff, and I end up not taking any action because of that information. It almost seems redundant, but nothing wrong with it in a practical sense, like you're saying. 24-hour live? Oh my God, I can't do that. Back in the old days. 24 hours, no stress, lots of coffee. And we'll name the next live stream Stress Free. No stress trading. Pete Feiners After Dark. I just like saying that now. So where is this thing? Oh, going good. Still down here. Break test. Break test. What is that level? Well, that's that. Okay, right. Little rejection there. Let's see the 1 minute. Yeah. It's kind of just chop. But no issue with large demand. That's good. Okay, cool. So I won't be here tomorrow, but I plan to be here Thursday. So I will see you then. I'll try to pop in the Discord for real-time stuff or drop some stuff there to check out. Okay, thanks for attending. Weird day, but we're good. That was a weird one. Let's get past this weird energy. All right. Thursday will be totally refreshed. Oil looking good. I'm going back to that, Owen. Yes, thanks for reminding me. I take my time so much on swing trades. I'm like, oh, that looks good. Maybe I'll get in it. I think it's time, though. You start building that long. Yep. Owen, correct. Norman, very welcome. Good to hear. Thanks. Okay, I'll see you guys on Thursday and in the Discord. Rob, very welcome. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? Thursday's Thanksgiving. I'm not trading Thanksgiving market. Oh, man. Yeah, that's it for the week. All right, I'll be around. We'll be around. You guys don't want to trade Thursday? No, you're right. Thanks for reminding me. You guys don't want to trade Thursday. No, you don't. You don't. And tomorrow, Wednesday, I can't. I got the late night recording session, Pete Fader After Dark. So, yeah. It's a holiday week. All right. I'll be around. We'll do our thing. Very welcome. Good to have you guys here. I know. We'll go for all 3 days next week. Cheers, guys. It's been fun once again. See you soon.